like to introduce the guests that are in the studio, and you'll be excited to meet. You'll be excited to meet them. Let me start with someone you already know, Mrs. Judith Nkem Ogidingbe. Good morning, welcome.
Good morning.
She's the MD CEO of the award-winning Healthy Body Clinic Resort Limited, the one you know as HBC. She's also the visionary founder and convener of the Excellent Capacity Builders Initiative, that's ECBI. We're talking a whole lot about that, dedicated to raising a new generation of purpose-driven African leaders. So if you are aspiring to be a purpose-driven African leader, this half hour is for you. I might also have in the studio with us Dr. Ilya Ben Majam. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. He's a Christian leader with ministry experience across Africa. He has served as finance director for ECBI, regional administrator for the Navigators in Africa, and has now retired after leading Harvest Leadership Community in Africa, which is a discipleship and servant leadership initiative. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we'll also have with us in the studio engineer Solomon Chikan.
Morning.
Good morning. He's a life and business coach. It's been a long time, sir. How are you doing?
So I'm fine, and you?
Well done.
Great.
Doing fine.
Great.
All right. Okay, that's a household name. Okay, all right, let's jump straight into the matter. I'm sure you are excited to know what the Excellent Capacity Builders Initiative, ECBI, is all about. I'll allow Mrs. Ogedegbe to fill us in on what ECBI is all about. Then we'll move from there.
All right, viewers, good morning once again, and thank you for joining us this morning. The Excellent Capacity Builders Initiative, came from a very deep burden, I carried all along, before now. I've watched too many young people, lose, their sense of identity, purpose, and responsibility. Men who should naturally be stepping into leadership, but instead are struggling with the direction, consistency, and the core values that sustains life and self-leadership. That concern has actually been with me for years. And it is also expressed in my book, The Dancing Butterfly, My Journey to Wholesome Leadership. It is my autobiography, actually, that mirrors my journey to wholesomeness. It tells the story of my own transformation and why wholesome, Christ-centered leadership matters so much in our lives. Every life for me must have a place where it anchors its soul. And if there is nowhere our souls, anchors, what happens? We die, and we die gradually.
Okay.
ECBI grew out from the same conviction. I wanted to build a space where young men can rediscover who they were created to be, embrace responsibility, and grow into leaders who are grounded in character, integrity, and purpose. There has been a lot of conferences and leadership schools and seminars, but yet we are where we are today as a nation because something is missing. So we are here actually to bridge that leadership gap, but more importantly, to fill it with wholesome leadership, the kind that transforms families, communities, from the inside out. So that's exactly what the ECBI
is all about. Still, Mrs. Judith, I would like to still give you this question. What inspired the birth of the ECBI initiative?
Men, we actually chose to deal with the male species. Why? Men were created to be the head of the family. Wholesome men will lead wholesome families and therefore wholesome societies. And looking around what we see in our societies today, there's been a broken down, of family values. And those are the kind of values, we want to bring back. They said the fish rots from the head. And if the fish rots from the head, then you can imagine what the body will be. So, who is the head of the family? As far as Africans are concerned, the man is the head of the family. And if the man loses his focus, we are in great trouble. And when we look around our societies today, it is because of that loss of who the man should be in a family that the society is where it is today. So our drive is actually to, by the grace of God, to bring or help bring man back to where, he was created to be, the head of a family. So that is what drives us.
Oh, wow. Okay. Let me come to Dr. Ilya now. Dr. Ilya, for someone hearing about ECBI for the first time, how would you describe its scope? Practically speaking, what exactly will the initiative do?
Thank you very much. As Mrs. Ogedengwe has already introduced the topic of ECBI, ECBI focuses on young people, on men, realizing that ultimately they will head homes and families, and families form communities. So when we think of ECBI, we're thinking of an initiative that provides a context where young people can come and ask the very, very basic questions of life. Who am I? Why am I here? That's where life starts. When you help a young man begin to answer those questions, then they are now opened to whatever input you can give them to begin to shape them to understand their calling. So ECBI provides a safe and conducive environment and the kind of relationships for young men to process these basic life vital questions. And when those life questions are answered and their purpose is discovered, the rest is now how to live out that life purpose with wholesome integrity and focus. Now, when we talk about scope, ECBI focuses on a holistic outreach to young people. The physical health is critical, so the intellectual or the educational aspect of any young man is critical, and definitely the spiritual, which focuses on character.
Yes.
And then the social, that's where the family and the community come in. Once a young man begins to grasp and finds answers to these questions, they now set their lives on a purposeful journey for their own personal benefit, for the benefit of the families and the society as a whole. It is also strategic. What do I mean by that? It starts with the development of the individual before it reaches out to the family, to the community. Because you can't give what you don't have.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so
That's
if
right.
you want a young man to be a positive contribution to society, they too have to be helped.
Yes.
And that's why ECBI is all about. Help them so that they now, in turn, can be able to help starting from home. So this is one of the many things that I believe ECBI is out to do. And I would just like to finish by saying this, that the being is always ahead of the doing. Once you get people to start acting here and there, and they are being too busy, but they haven't yet discovered who are they? How can I develop what it takes in terms of being?
Yes.
You find that the doing will not go out right. So ECBI is a help to equip them to understand what kind of people ought we be as young people, as men, to be able to deliver our calling in life.
That's right.
Wow, great. All right. Okay, let me come to Engineer Chikan. Now, the values in action, that's the WISE framework here. WISE standing for wisdom, integrity, stewardship, and empowerment. WISE. How important are these values in the life of an aspiring leader?
Interesting. Like Dr. Ilya has just said, he said being comes before doing. So these words that you've just mentioned are things we see people act. A wise person, a person of integrity, a person who tells the truth, the person who can do whatever you give him to do well. That's talking about who he is. And so, ECBI, as she said, and he has also said, first is that yes, we desire to see these people function well in society. We desire to see them function well in their roles as men leading homes. But before then, they themselves have to be people who can do those things. It's like a building. Every building has a foundation.
Yes.
So whatever building you are building, whatever it is going to serve the purpose for which it's going to serve. Yes, it may have different rooms, different shapes and what have you and the rest, but all buildings have a foundation. So we are out to make the people. When you get them made, they can perform.
Oh, yes.
Because the problem we have in society today is that most of our trainings, most of what we call educating people, we're telling people what to do, how to do. But the truth is that at the end of the day, because of who they are, they end up not doing what they're supposed to do.
Correct. That's true.
You know, I'm a trainer. And for years, I've been training people on doing things, mostly in the entrepreneurship area. And I went up with this adage that they usually say, give a man fish, you feed him for a day. But teach him how to fish,
Oh, yes.
you feed him for life.
Oh, yes.
That's not true. Yeah, it's not true. We discovered it's not true. And it's because of that that there've been so much of skill acquisition trainings, trying to get people to do things. And what happens at the end of the day, when we give them starter packs, they sell them.
Yes. Oh,
So
yes.
It's a case of if all you do is teach him how to fish, give him a net, he will sell it to buy fish. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Oh, yes.
Because we
It's
see that
mind-boggling.
happening. You see that happening every day. So it's about making him a fisherman,
Oh, yes. Wow.
just teaching him how to fish.
Wow.
So when you make him a fisherman, even if there's no fish in the pond that you took him to, he'll create another pond.
Oh, yes.
So he's
Wow.
a fisherman.
Wow.
That's our desire. We discovered that men have been born to be a certain function, but they're not able to do it because we were born equipped but not qualified.
Yes.
So we need development to be qualified to do what we're expected to do. That's what they just said.
Awesome. Awesome. Sir, you've said something that I'll have to take you up on. I'll come back to that. But Dr. Ilya, I want to ask, the evidence of transformation, and from your perspective, what impact has ECBI made so far, both in society and in the lives of the young men who have passed through the program?
Wow. This is a good question, but I must be honest, it will not be very easy to answer. Why? Two, three things. ECBI is still in its first year. So you might say we are still going through the learning curve. But after saying that, I can tell you definitely these young people have developed in a number of areas. One of them in the area of critical thinking.
Yes.
As we have sat down and talked with them and reasoned with them, we have seen how from February, March, as we interact with them, we see that their thinking and their ability to reason out and to put things in perspective has definitely increased.
That's right.
We're encouraged to see that the person themselves are being enhanced and developed. We find that their thirst for knowledge and learning is continuing.
Yes.
And that is it. Leaders who finish well, one of the characteristics, they are lifelong learners. And we believe we are getting these young people to begin to engage in constant learning, not only the narrow area, of course, but also learning about life generally. You know, someone has said that leaders are readers and readers are leaders. So I believe, Mrs. Gerembe has challenged them. I remember telling her, hey, are you committed to reading the book a week?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And she's gotten them into that initiative, and we are very, very pleased. No mind that is exercised in that will remain the same.
Yes.
And if we really, really want that to happen, and for grassroots development to start, we've got to do that.
Right.
I believe there is so much impact participants in the ECBI program have made and are making, but not living with them in the villages and the communities is hard for us at this point to be able to say that. But I do know that things are happening. And by the time we get into the second year and onwards and we begin to see this work go on, we're going to see a lot more impact.
And if I may add, the testimony some few months ago, we had testimonies, within the young men. I tell you, some of the testimonies made me to shed tears. Those who have been written off before, young men in their 30s, 40s, who have been written off, are now actually being able not just to come back to who God has made them to be, but to be able to carry this vision also to other people within their communities. So actually, it made me really, really happy.
All right, Engineer, go ahead.
Yeah, I think, for what she's saying, because the truth is this. When we see these young people that we are complaining about, everywhere you go, you say the young people are not this, they are taking drugs, they are doing what have you, and all the rest of them. These are all signs of the heart cry.
Yes.
They are searching.
Yes.
You know, they are searching.
Yes.
Most people, like especially the young ones, they are confused.
Yes.
Because when they see what is going on in society and what you are telling them to do, they don't match. And until somebody is grounded,
Yes.
that you are made to understand why you are, who you are,
Yeah.
why you are.
Yeah.
And you walk from that. That is, you live from that understanding. It's a problem.
Yes.
And unfortunately, many of our young people, even the school we tell them to go to, what is he going to school for? This is going to... They don't understand this fact that you are here for a purpose.
Oh, yeah. That's
You
true.
need to live to fulfill this purpose.
Yes.
Most of them don't know this, so they don't see life as a struggle for survival.
That's
so
true.
you can do it anyhow. I was telling them somewhere about a young man who was asked, what will you want to be when you grow up? And he said, I want to be a senator. He said, for what? He said, no, you see, uncle, now, you had nothing, but when you became senator, see all the cars he has now what have you? And the young girl who was there, they asked her, what will you want to be, my dear? And she said, I want to marry him. she wants to. So, most of these young people don't know what life really is all about and why they are. And that's the main focus of, by the time somebody understands that wherever I was born, what have you, doesn't matter. I'm here for something.
That's true.
Engineer, it's almost as if you've answered my next question, but I'll still ask it.
But let me just add,
I'll just ask it in case you want to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Now, given the realities of today's society, what do you think the ECBI, why do you think the ECBI matters at this point in time? And what gap is it going to fill?
Oh, fantastic. It matters because, as I said, when purpose is not known, abuse
is inevitable.
This is the issue. So most people don't know why they are here in the world. They think it's about just look for food, build houses, or what have you, and that is the...
You have a car.
you know, how you get it even, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You know? So when people are grounded in meaning, why?
Yes.
What is the purpose of this thing?
Okay.
And then they are made people who can live out life as life should be lived.
Yes.
Things will change.
That's true.
All right, Mrs. Judith Ogedengbe. Now, looking ahead,
Yeah.
where do you see the ECBI in the next few years? What's the long-term vision driving this initiative?
All right. In the next few years, by the grace of God, I see ECBI, becoming a widely recognized platform, one that young men, actively seeks out, because they know that it helps them grow into the best version of themselves. The need for wholesome leadership is rising, across the world. And that is the reason you see all the restlessness we see. And ECBI is positioning itself, to meet that need, with clarity and depth. On the long term, on the long-term vision, is to raise wholesome African leaders, men whose leadership roots, is in character, responsibility, humility, Christ-centered values. We want to expand our coaching structure, deepen our mentorship pipeline, and of course, reach more communities across Africa. So that's where, by the grace of God, we see ECBI going. And I know that we will get there because we are determined.
All right.
Yeah.
Dr. Ilya, I'll come back to you again. Now, what would you want every listener to take away from this conversation about ECBI?
I would say this. Every listener, instead of sitting there crossing the darkness, like Engineer Chikan said, problems, they are drunkards, they are doing this, they are into betting and everything. Someone said, don't sit there crossing the darkness, strike a match.
Strike a match.
Yes.
Do not sit there discussing the mess and the evil of your family, community, or society at large. He's saying, do something, however small.
Do something.
ECBI has started small, but the Bible said, don't despise the day of small things.
Beginning.
Two, history has people like Wilberforce. They also started this way to end the slave trade. That's the name, that ended slave trade. And we can multiply such today. Humble efforts such as ECBI, pioneered by Mr. Judith Ogedengbe, is doing much and must be encouraged, supported, and such initiatives must be multiplied. The impact of such small but honest initiatives are bringing about holistic societal transformation and national upbuilding. I saw summarized in three key things. Don't wait for others. Don't wait for government. Do what you can, and if need, mobilize others and do something about it. 2, focus on raising godly men to lead from home, to lead from their families and spring upwards. Someday when they become senators or governors, they would have made a good job leading from the home. Thirdly, concentrate on character and integrity. We have so many today in our country that are trained doctors, engineers, PhDs, you name them. But look at the state our nation is in.
That's true.
So what I want our listeners to take away is that as we think of training, let's concentrate on issues like character, integrity, not neglecting the skills, okay, or the competencies, but we must deal on the issues of the being, of the doing,
Yes.
of who you are. If we get this right, others will follow.
That's right.
Oh, great. Okay, now let's come to some. Okay, engineer, you want to say something? Please
just,
go ahead.
Yeah, just what he said. I read a story somewhere that this what he's talking perfect. That is that get the man right and his world will be right.
Oh, yeah.
Man came back home one day with work and his young boy came to play with him and said, give me some time, let me finish the work, we will play. And the boy came back again. So he wanted to find a way of keeping the boy away. So he saw on his table the map of the world, divided it as a jigsaw, give it to the boy to assemble and to put together, he expected the boy would take a long time. Less than 10, 15 minutes, the boy was knocking on the door. What is it, son? Said, I finished. Finished? No. He went in and said, truly, the boy has finished it. Said, how did you do it? And the boy said, Daddy, I don't know the countries of the world, so I couldn't put the thing together. But on the back of the paper, I noticed there's a picture of a human being. So when I got the man right,
then automatically the world was
so we are complaining about the condition of the world.
Beautiful.
Meanwhile, the men are not right.
Right.
Sir, I will take you up. You're boggling my mind. But I will take you up. Now, Mrs. Judith, there's cost attached to all of these things.
Sorry.
Now, there's a cost attached to these things. But many of our listeners right now who are certainly interested in joining the ECBI program, could you tell us what the cost of the program is, or is it free?
It is free.
Wow.
Yeah, it is free. Actually, we intend, it is, for us, it's not about, money is important, but money is not everything, and we must get to realize that money is not everything, So it has been free, and it is free. All we want are, men who are ready to transform their lives, to be who God has created them to be. So I want our listeners out there, to know that the next session of our journey, the next set in 2026, starts in January by the grace of God. We will do our inauguration, and then it is also the place, where those who have graduated will be handed over their graduation certificates. We are growing, and every young man who desires to walk in that path of wholesome leadership is welcome to join the group. Okay. We encourage every one of them, between the ages of 25 to 40.
Wow.
Yes.
25 to 40. So there's a 15-year gap for people to just fill in. And in case you're wondering, ECBI, what is ECBI? ECBI is Excellent Capacity Builders Initiative. I'll take that again. Excellent Capacity Builders Initiative. Is it only for men?
Yes, it's for men.
For now,
it's for men.
For men.
Yeah,
all right. Now, this brings me to my next question. I want to ask this. It's a freestyle kind of question. Are we saying that? Well, I'm not asking this from. I'm not asking it with any mischief. There's only men that are responsible for being, we know there are excellent women who lead great corporations and even lead their families and are winning bread for their families and everything. Does it mean that the men are seemingly lagging behind and need to be pulled along? I want to ask, maybe I'll start with you, Dr. Ilya. You can just spend a minute on the question.
Women are doing excellent jobs. I think of Margaret Thatcher of long ago. I think of, who is it that just finished her term in Germany. But when they went home, they did their job as women in the home. And the men led the home. Okay? So the fact of the matter, but biblically, the man was made and the woman was coming to the helpmeet. That is spiritual and that is foundational.
Yes.
So once the man fails to lead, there's something that the woman with all her gifting she cannot do. The man has to do it.
Engineer, do you concur?
I concur, because as I said earlier, every building stands only when the foundation is right. And God created man to be the foundation of the family, foundation of society. And the reasons why we are having all the mess is because men are not playing their role. Why are they not doing it? They've not been made to do what they've been created to do. That is it.
Some of the greatest countries in the world were once led by women. The Great Britain, Germany, Pakistan, Brazil, so many of them, wonderful women, they did fantastic things and everything. Can't we also, leverage what these women, even in Nigeria, there are women who occupied exalted positions and did not leave anything to be, any questions to be asked at the end of the day. Can't we highlight all of these women to bring them into the program? Let's share their examples.
Yeah, we're going to have the women's angle, but for now, we are dealing with the men.
Okay.
When you transform a man, you transform a family. When families are transformed, communities begin to change. And that is how nations are impacted, and this is the, heartbeat of ECBI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I wanted to say something.
Yes, quickly.
We are confusing something. We are confusing administration with leadership.
Okay.
To administer.
And they're totally different.
Yeah, they're totally different things. So God created man to lead.
Okay.
Women,
but anybody can administer.
Anybody can administer.
Good point.
Wow. And here's some exciting information for everyone listening right now. This wraps up this very interesting conversation about the Excellent Capacity Builders Initiative, a movement committed to raising wholesome African leaders grounded in integrity, purpose, and a fulfilled life. We are proud to share that ECBI is proudly sponsored by the Healthy Body Clinic and Resort Limited, JOS. You know them better as HBC Resort. Now, for all your holidays, weekend breaks, seminars, and conferences, HBC Resort is the place to be. Conveniently located along the Kuru Vom Road in Kwata, Zaman, JOS, where world-class services and a peaceful atmosphere awaits you. One more time, I want to thank Mrs. Judith Ogenigbe. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you
for coming to our studios today. Dr. Ilya Majam, thank you so much, sir. And Engineer Chikan, thank you.